Hi, everyone. For Group G's research perspectives, we have chose a topic that seemed to have gaps in research within the HRD field, relating to mentoring and leveraging globalization and increased dependency on technology to preserve the art of mentorship and human resource development. So let's get started. Mentoring has been an expected and established part of the HRD discipline and practice, and can be described as a relationship between a younger adult and older, more experienced adult who helps the younger individual to learn to navigate the adult world and the world of work. The main implication is that there is enough physical proximity and/or enough frequent contact, regardless of geographical location, to promote interaction in the form of mentorship. However, as technology advances, and the opportunity to connect individuals of different backgrounds, workspaces, and disciplines become more commonplace to be outside an immediate proximity and location-dependent radius, the traditional method of mentoring can be pushed out of its normal structure to allow for an opportunity for a different model of the transfer of knowledge. The chance to interact and facilitate mentoring roles in a traditional manner will be challenged as more of the workforce is affected by the increase in globalization and dependence on technology to connect remote workstations and employees. To accommodate for these rapid changes, the traditional methods of mentoring can prove unsustainable, and there will need to be more realistic and innovative ways to maintain those meaningful relationships, regardless of the location. With each technological advancement that occurs, the increased dependency on this technology has shifted the way the workforce interacts with each other, allowing individuals to have the opportunity to connect with other professionals in their same field on opposite ends of the globe. The art of mentorship and mentoring opportunities are able to transcend face-to-face interactions, but allow for novices to learn from top leaders who may not live or work nearby. Utilizing informal tools like social media and chat services to formalize email communication can benefit and allow these like-minded people to collaborate without having to leave the comfort of their homes. Now, although it seems it would be a reasonable consideration for the human resource development practice to keep this shift at the forefront, the general problem is the research behind the concept of technology and its influence on mentorship in HRD is limited. It seems HRD professionals are practicing these concepts without documenting and providing guidelines and insight on best practices. Jennifer Lee, in her research surrounding HRD and the lack of research on technological advancements being viewed as a social environment rather than a problematic issue, states that field professionals in HRD have not adequately addressed the issue, and no sufficient strides have been made to advance our understanding on how IT has impacted the way we design, learning, support, performance, and lead organizational change. With the dependence on technology and ever-changing worldwide workforce shifting to accommodate for this demand, it is critical for HRD professionals to focus more time, attention, and research in the concept of mentoring capabilities in the virtual realm. The significance of our study is to increase the awareness of lingering gaps in research surrounding HRD and the effects of globalization and increased dependence on technology of mentorship programs. But instead of favoring on the side of letting the art of mentorship disappear as the technologically driven world changes, we would like to provide insight on how we can use technology to increase the ways we can offer mentorship opportunities outside of a traditional framework. By researching, reviewing, and analyzing through literature pieces in scholarly journals, our group compiled sources that have helped us not only address these questions, but provide insight into the depth, or lack thereof, information surrounding the topics of HRD, mentoring, and technological advancement. Additionally, our group pulled numerous references that provide detail into numerous ways and new ways to leverage the use of technology to still retain mentoring effectiveness. The purpose of this research is to analyze the effects of increased globalization and technology dependence on mentorship. The study also takes a look at a few ways that organizations can use technology to keep mentorship alive in HRD. With the rise of international businesses and technological growth, traditional mentoring is becoming more difficult to establish in the workplace. HRD professionals need to recognize the effects of globalization and dependence of technology. This study provides several examples of non-traditional mentoring that HRD professionals can use to make sure mentoring remains as important of a part of the workplace. Our research significance is to identify these gaps in information on how the field of HRD approaches and provides relevant information on technology's impact on the mentoring practice and how we can leverage those trends into a positive and effective manner. Through our literature review, our group began to notice a trend that there were gaps in information on how the field of HRD approaches and provides relevant information on technology's impact on the mentoring practice. And, of course, how to leverage those trends in this positive manner. Thus, these concepts have prompted our team to address two main research questions. Research question 1. According to current research, how is mentorship affected by globalization and increased dependence on technology? Research question 2. What are some of the ways organizations can leverage the use of technology to preserve mentorship in HRD? Based on the research discovered during our literature review, many factors were identified as causing organizational change and uncertainty, but none more important than globalization and technology. Globalization's social, economic, political, and cultural impacts have given rise not only to optimistic views of a world of prosperity, progress, and peace, but also to concerns about the gap between the rich and poor, exhaustion of limited resources, and sustainable development. There is little doubt, however, that globalization has a powerful influence on the work of individuals, groups, and organizations, and therefore important for HRD. Additionally, our group discovered a new trend of topics teetering in the HRD discipline in regard to technology, such as e-mentoring, virtual mentoring, and reverse mentoring. Each one of these provides emphasis that crosses the boundaries outside of the known traditional sense of mentoring and incorporates technology in a way that helps preserve the art of mentoring without losing an appeal of knowledge share across many different cultures, age groups, demographics, and levels of varying experience. The implications of this study indicate that there is much to be learned and shared across the HRD field with regard to mentoring in the virtual realm. Any mentoring program, regardless of method, must be grounded in fundamental learning theories and not only words of wisdom conversations. HRD researchers and practitioners should consider increased leveraging of technology as workplaces become more disparate and physically separated. Although it seems it would be a reasonable consideration for the HRD practice to keep the shift toward virtual and e-mentoring at the forefront of new research, the general problem is the research behind the concept of technology and its influence on mentorship in HRD is limited based on our literature review of the subject. numerous articles and examples were found that show HRD professionals are practicing these concepts, but perhaps without documenting and providing guidelines and insight on best practices. It is recommended that significant research be directed towards this essential skill set for HRD professionals, and that HRD academic programs spend more effort in virtual interventions, specifically focused on e-mentoring techniques to leverage technology as globalization effects manifest ever more rapidly. We hope you enjoyed our presentation on HRD and mentoring, leveraging globalization, increased dependency on technology to preserve the art of mentorship in human resource development.